What is up, guys? Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Today we are going to do the first shelf of my recent releases. We start off with Doctor Strange. Amazing cast for this movie. You know, Marvel obviously on a roll at this point. Didn't miss with this one either. It was a different movie compared to other Marvel movies. It had some horror elements and some time travel elements and things of that nature. And Benedict Cumberbatch nailed this part perfectly. I love this movie. The sequel I thought was actually even better than this one. But again, just an amazing entry into the Marvel franchise. Next, we have Star Wars Rogue One. I know the studio was saying that they hated this movie. It seems to be along the lines of World War Z, how the studio said they hated that movie and it was the worst movie they ever made. But it turned out to do amazing business at the box office, showing that a lot of studio heads don't really know what people want to watch or what they will enjoy. But this was probably the best Star Wars movie that's come out since Disney bought LucasArts. So, in my opinion anyway, I absolutely love this movie. Next, we have Passengers with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. Amazing movie as well. It's not a very fast moving movie, but still very interesting story how they pulled it off. The visuals are second to none. I mean, this is worth checking out if you like either of these actors. Coupled with the story and what's going on, makes for a very fun watch. So definitely check this out if you haven't seen it before. Next, we have Assassin's Creed. I went and saw this in the theaters. I love the video games, so I thought, oh, this could be a good movie. I guess it was originally going to be a trilogy. This didn't do too well in the box office, but I thought it was okay. Not exactly what I thought it was gonna be, but it was okay. I kind of would have liked to have seen what they would have done with a sequel to this. I know Netflix is making a TV series out of Assassin's Creed now, so hopefully it lasts longer than just one season, because I'd like to see what they do with it and who they cast in it. But, oh no, this is just an average movie, but it's not horrible, so I wouldn't believe the reviews of the people saying this is a horrible movie. Next, we have XXX, The Return of Xander Cage. Vin Diesel's return to the XXX role. He does okay. This movie's a little bit... I liked the first one because it's more old school. This one's more over the top. Not really old school in my opinion. It's still good, but it's definitely nowhere near as good as the first one. I wish they would go back to doing elements of the first one instead of doing this way over the top stuff. But yeah, I did like the cameo of Ice Cube in this movie. That was fun. But I mean, yeah, it's a solid watch. Next, we have Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. Loved this Resident Evil movie. Retribution and Afterlife. You could pretty much take those out of the equation and just have this right after Extinction, and it wouldn't miss a beat. But I love these movies. They're always a solid, fun watch if you just like action, sci-fi, zombies, and things of that nature. Especially on Blu-ray and 4K, these look, whoa. They transfer really well. Next, we've got John Wick 2, which of course is a classic. Who doesn't like John Wick if you haven't seen it? You've been living under a rock and need to check it out for sure. Yeah, it's certified fresh for sure. There's no way these wouldn't be certified fresh, but the action is just so insane. I mean, I absolutely love these. They get more and more violent as they go on. They find new and different creative ways to kill people. I mean, this might overshadow Keanu Reeves' role in The Matrix as being the best role he's ever had, in my opinion. Comment down below on what you think of that. Next, we have The Great Wall with Matt Damon, which was, I'll be honest, this was horrible. I'm surprised Matt Damon did this movie. The visuals were great, but fighting demons from another dimension, and that's what the wall is for, it's kind of outlandish and not really Matt Damon's style, so he must have gotten a really big paycheck for this. is my assumption. You know, so, only average. Next, we have Logan with Hugh Jackman. You know, supposedly it was going to be his last Wolverine movie role, but now he's going to be in Deadpool 3. I personally didn't, you know, and I know a lot of people love this movie. I didn't. I preferred X-Men Origins Wolverine over this. But I don't know. I thought that Patrick Stewart's character was a little bit more irritating than anything and kind of killed the mood of the movie for me. But it is what it is. Everyone's got their own opinions. Next, we've got Kong Skull Island. Loved this movie. Absolutely spectacular. Tom Hiddleston did great. You know, the entire cast did great. Even John C. Reilly, who I thought he was going to do horrible in this movie, did great. All in all, this is a very, very solid movie. I absolutely love this. It was a great follow-up to Godzilla. Next, we have Life. This is probably one of the best sci-fi horror movies I've seen in a long time. I mean, the ending alone is up there with The Mist. The cast is fantastic. Visuals are great. I mean, there's nothing not to like about this movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. Next, we have The Fate of the Furious. This is where Fast and Furious starts to go downhill for me. Goes into being just way too over the top. You know, I don't mind a little over the top. You know, 7 was kind of pushing it a little bit with the jumping from building to building in cars. And this one just takes it to a whole nother level. So it started to turn me off after this one. I did enjoy Hobbs and Shaw, but this 8, 9, and 10 just got worse for me and hard to watch. Next, we have The Circle. This is a movie that surprised me big time. Tom Hanks does an amazing job in this movie, and so does Emma Watson, and so does the supporting cast. Great, you know, kind of like how we were talking about the net in an earlier video about how technology advances and all that stuff. This is pretty much the modern day net. It is just so ridiculous the things that people can do and how far they're willing to take their power to do it. And this is just a scary movie in a way. Check it out if you haven't seen it before. Then we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Loved this movie. 1 and 2 of these were absolutely fantastic. Visuals are there. It's a Marvel movie. The comedy's there with the cast. You know, Dave Bautista, he was made for this role. I mean, absolutely love this movie. Next, we have King Arthur. I picked this up on a Black Friday deal a few years ago. You know, Guy Ritchie's a hit and miss kind of director for me. And this is a miss. Didn't like it. Real bad storyline. Horrible visual effects. Jude Law does horrible. Just all in all, not worth watching. Comment down below if you think differently. Then we've got Alien Covenant, which was the follow-up to Prometheus. Love Ridley Scott. The visuals are there. Hated the story. I wanted a sequel to Prometheus, and they didn't give us that because the studio wanted to have a sequel to Alien, which had nothing to do with following up with Prometheus. You know, I wanted to know about the engineers, and it doesn't really go into that. Who created the alien? You know, and eventually it would have gotten to this point. You know, maybe this could have been the third movie in the line, you know. But, you know, studios think they know what the public wants. This movie flopped at the box office. People didn't like it. So all in all, only average. Next, we have Baywatch with Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron. I do like the Steelbook. It's a nice Steelbook. This is a funny movie. You know, it wasn't the best movie that The Rock's done, but it's a solid watch if you haven't seen it before. Then we have Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Visually, you know, on par with the other Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Not the best, probably because, you know, you don't got the supporting cast everyone loves with Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. but it's still okay. It's got elements of what you like, but not the whole thing, you know. I get they were probably trying to go younger and cut the budget down, but, you know, it is what it is. Average, probably the worst in the series. Then we've got Wonder Woman. This is probably the only good entry in the DCU, in my opinion. It's a shame that they're recasting and redoing all this as far as Wonder Woman. They should have just kept Wonder Woman going on its own. I would have loved to have seen a third one of this. But it is what it is, I guess. At least I still have this to watch. Next, we have The Mummy with Tom Cruise. It was supposed to be a start of the monster, well, what is it? You know, like the Universal Monster Universe or whatever it is. But it turned out to flop big time. And I love Tom Cruise, but this is definitely not his best work. I'm sure he got paid really well for this, but again, like I said, not his best work. It's not a Tom Cruise movie. Next, we have Transformers: The Last Knight. The worst Transformers movie in the series. I wish they'd stop making them. I have not seen the new one, Rise of the Beasts or whatever it is. But Mark Wahlberg actually fought the studio to get out of his contract to be in another one of these. And I don't blame him. This one was horrible. Horrible. I'm happy Michael Bay got out of making those. Then we've got SpiderMan Homecoming, the movie everyone was waiting for to get Spider-Man in the MCU. Phenomenal movie. Robert Downey Jr. does fantastic in this movie as well. Did extremely well at the box office. Worth watching if you love the MCU and haven't seen it before. Then we've got War of the Planet of the Apes, which I absolutely enjoyed. I loved Woody Harrelson in this movie. This is the best of these Apes movies. I'm waiting for the next one, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm hoping that since Disney bought out Fox, it still keeps the same tone and all that. But absolutely love this movie. Then we have Dunkirk. You know, who doesn't love a good Christopher Nolan movie? Probably not as, you know, all of his work is good, and this one has no exception. But out of all of his work, I'd probably say this one was my least liked. But I still enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, you know, you got to pick the worst of the best. And this would probably be that. You know, the cast is phenomenal. The story's great. The visuals are great. The sound's great. Everything's great. Next, we have Atomic Blonde, which is basically Charlize Theron's version of John Wick in a way. And she does phenomenal in this movie, as does everyone else. I'd love to see a sequel to this. Worth checking out if you're a John Wick fan. Then we have The Hitman's Bodyguard. Absolutely love this movie. Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson do a phenomenal job together. The comedy's there, the action's there. It's way over the top, but it's meant to be. And, oh man, I love this movie. I go back and watch this at least once a year. Then we have American Assassin, which is based off of the Mitch Rapp books. Great movie. Didn't do well at the box office because, you know, the cast is a lot of people that people don't really know beyond Michael Keaton. But Dylan O'Brien was starting to come into his own at this point. Taylor Kitsch did an amazing job. I wish they would have made a sequel to this because this was great. The opening scenes of this movie were probably the best I've ever seen in a movie. It's just a shame that we won't see a sequel to this. And then we have American Maid with Tom Cruise, which was okay. Again, not Tom Cruise's best work, but still very entertaining. Interesting story and all that, but, you know, all in all, only average to me. But that'll do it for this shelf. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. I'm also over on Letterboxd. The link to that is over in the profile description of this channel. Otherwise, until next time, guys, have a Merry Christmas.